Hello lovely people, welcome to the Geek Cupboard, I'm Penge, and welcome to day 8 of the Geek Cupboard's Fes-tea-ve Advent Countdown 2021. Right, so here we go. Where is little tea pocket number 8 on our calendar? It's not on the kind of first section. Hang on a minute, it's such a big calendar, hang on, I'm struggling to show it all. It's not on that bit. It's not... No, there it is. It's just there. There's number 8. So today we have... Okay, this sounds quite nice. Turmeric gold. I mean, any tea that ends in gold in the name, that's got to be good. I mean, it's starting off well. We've got a good promise there. So, okay. So what does it say here? Golden curcuma or de curcuma turmeric glow. I don't know what any of that means. I'm not entirely sure if I'm supposed to understand this. I don't know. Is it a riddle? I'm not entirely sure. Okay. I mean, this sounds very exciting, I think. Okay, and what does it say here? Let's read the thing. This is the queen of all the herbs, each sip a draught of golden power. Oh, it all sounds very exciting indeed. Okay, a bit like yesterday's tea, I'm not really quite sure what to expect. But okay, here we go. There's only one thing for us to do right now, and that's go to the kettle. And here we are with our lovely freshly brewed cup of turmeric gold tea, and to look at it, it's very clearly a green tea, but it's kind of more on the sort of, the yellowy, almost golden side of green tea. Look at that. I mean, it's sort of a yellowy green tea, shall we say. Let's leave it there. But it does look very nice. It looks very lovely. And in terms of the smell, I can actually smell that. I can smell that a little bit, so it must be quite strong smelling. I can smell a bit of the turmeric, which is, no surprise really, because it's called turmeric gold. However, let's have a taste of this. I do have high hopes for this. I do hope this is very nice. That is very nice. Oh, it's a little bit lemony. It's a little bit kind of citrusy. Oh, that's very nice. That's very refreshing. You can taste the sort of the turmeric with it, but it's got a little bit of sort of a lemony sort of flavour to it. Hang on. Where's the packet? The packet's there. Hang on, did it say it's got lemon in it? A golden blend of the finest turmeric, lemon fruit, and green tea. Yeah, I can taste the lemon. It tastes very sort of citrusy. That's nice. That's very, very nice indeed. I'm going to have some more. It's so nice. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. I just, gave that a little moment to, sort of get the proper taste through. That's very nice. I do like that. Yeah, it's not too strong. I mean, that has been in there for quite some time. That was in there for a little while because I left the tea bag in. And then I went and did some of the bits and bobs downstairs. And I kind of went, oh, the tea. And I went back and it had been in for at least 5 minutes, if not more. But yeah, it's not too strong. It's not too overpowering. The flavours are very nice. They're kind of nice, subtle sort of, well, not subtle flavours, but they're not overpowering flavours. They're not overly strong, which is quite nice. It's all well balanced. It's well balanced. That's what people would say. Okay, this is very nice. Okay, right, I'm going to enjoy this. So let's go to today's question. And I like this question. So it's from Assassin Agent. And they said, what is the weirdest / most odd thing that happened to you / you have done? And I thought about this. And there are 3 things really that kind of stick in the mind. And they're 3 very different things. So I couldn't really pick one above all 3. So I thought, do you know what? We'll just go for all 3. We'll go for all 3 things. So I mean, whether they're weird or most odd, yeah, they're unusual things that kind of either, were quite bizarre or made me chuckle or whatever. So one, and I'm not going to name names or anything, and I'm not going to say where I was, where I was working at the time, but in a workplace where I was once upon a time, I went to the loo and a chap came into the loo and I knew who he was. So I was washing my hands. I was kind of on the way out. And so I went to this chap and he nodded back and he went into one of the cubicles. And then just as I was leaving, there's no one else in the toilet, by the way. There's no one else there. Just as I was leaving, I was heading toward the door. He'd gone into the cubicle. And then I heard him say, kind of, not exactly a quiet mutter. It was, said to himself, I think, but said at a regular sort of volume. I heard him say, crispy chicken dinner, which even now makes me laugh. And I think back to this, and sometimes I think, did I mishear him? Did I mishear him? Did he say something else? And my brain just couldn't quite work it out. And then kind of translated his mumblings or whatever it was into the words crispy chicken dinner. Because, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But it's very odd. It's very odd. It's one of the oddest things I can recall. It's just very strange. I don't know why he would say that. I don't know why he'd say it. to himself in a toilet when he knows that there's another person kind of in the same bathroom type area? I don't know. It was a very, very odd moment indeed. So that was one odd thing. Another odd thing was relatively recent. It wasn't recent, but yeah, it's more recent than that other incident. So I was driving home one night, and I might have been to the shops or something. I forget, but it was dark. I think it might have been sort of late summertime, possibly. And driving down the hill toward our sort of the turn off toward our road, there's a sort of a pedestrian crossing. Like a sort of nice crossing point where near the school. It's near the school, and there's some fences and such like on either side. And yeah, it's fairly obvious, and it's got the big flashy orange lights on either side of it. And I was driving along, and there was a person. There was a person on the right hand side, and she walked over, and she was quite a tall, older lady, and she had on some very sort of, I would say, sort of antique-y, oldie looking clothing. I would say, kind of, I thought, sort of like 1950s almost sort of clothing. It was quite nice. It was very well, it was good, fancy stuff. It was like a sort of a long kind of jacket that was buttoned up because, it was a bit chilly possibly at that point. And like a sort of a hat with kind of, woolen sort of woolen bit around the bottom of it. And, she looked very dapper. She was an older lady though. So she took a little while to get across the road. So she got over. So she went from right to left. So of course in the UK, she sort of got off as on the side that I was on. So she got onto the pavement, and then I drove forward a bit. And then I looked in my mirrors just to, just check that, everything was all right, and, check the cars and check everything else. And the lady was not there. And I kid you not, she wasn't there. She was not there at all. She had vanished, and I don't know where she could have gone, because on either side of that crossing, there's nothing. There's some little tiny fences, like sort of grilled fences, but you can see through those. They're just sort of bars, just sort of metal bars. So she crossed the road, so I would have accelerated for, I don't know, 2-3 seconds possibly. So I got over the crossing, and then I looked in my mirrors, and she'd gone. She just was not there. And there's nowhere that she could have got to, because on the left-hand side, where I clearly saw her get off, she sort of, got out to the road and went onto the pavement, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I mean, a long way down, but toward me, so toward where I would have been driving, is a bus stop. But she couldn't have made it to there unless she's some sort of, I don't know, champion sprinter or something. And the other way, there's nothing. There's nothing. There's just a path, and there were no cars nearby, so she couldn't have sort of hidden behind a parked car or anything. She couldn't have gone behind a tree. There are no trees. There's a fence, because it's kind of alongside the school, but it's all locked up, and it's a very big, high fence. So, yeah, she just sort of vanished. And that freaked me out a little bit, because it was quite close to home. And she was definitely dressed in kind of older style clothing. It was very odd. It was very, very odd indeed. It was one of the oddest things. And I came back in, I was a bit, Mrs. Penge, this weird thing happened. I didn't call her Mrs. Penge, obviously. This weird thing happened, and she was a bit, ooh, well, maybe she just, it was in your blind spot or something. I was like, no, because then when I looked up and my brain went, oh, that woman's not there, I then did kind of keep checking. I was a bit, what? Where's she? She can't have gone. She can't have gone. Where is she? So I did keep checking. So I didn't have one glance and go, oh my gosh, she's vanished. I looked and went, oh my gosh, she's definitely not there, lots of times. So, who knows? Who knows? It shall be forever a mystery. So yeah, that was a weird kind of thing. Hang on, some more tea. Yeah, it's nice. And the last one does involve some tea. It takes a while to get to the point where we have some tea. So back in 2015, I think this was. I think it was 2015. I got some tickets to go to Silverstone to watch the Formula One motor race. Now, Silverstone is not too far away from here. So my friend was a marshal. He was one of the marshals, and they get special sort of passes. I think do they get 2 or 3? I don't know. They did back then. I think it was 2 or 3 that they could give to people for each day. So like the first practice, then the qualifying, then the race, that kind of thing. So you could go for all of those days. So I didn't go for the first day, the Friday, because I was at work, I think, but I went for the Saturday for the qualifying. And that was great. And I had to wander about. It was wonderful, and I got to watch the qualifying, and it was all very exciting. And I kind of stuck to the outside bit of the track because I just thought, yeah, that's what we do. Because I had a pass, because I didn't have a regular ticket. I kind of had a special sort of, guest pass, because I know one of the people that are working the event. I should explain. If you don't know the Formula One sort of thing, the marshals are the people obviously on the side of the track that deal with all the crashes, and they sort out all the stuff and, make sure they wave the flags and such like. But yeah, so they're I don't know if they're exactly unpaid. I don't know if they get expenses paid for like food or whatever. I'm not entirely sure, but they volunteer. They volunteer for these things. So I think by means of thanks, some tracks, I don't know if all of them do, but Silverstone certainly did at the time, they give out like passes. So yeah, so I had one of those passes. So on the qualifying day on the Saturday, I was just out and about, wandering about the outside of the track, because I thought I'll never get onto the inside bit, because the inside bit's where all the fancy, exciting stuff happens, kind of giving away what's going to happen on the Sunday there. On the Sunday, I went back, and it was race day, and I don't know, the race, I think, so I'd wandered about a bit. I got there quite early, and I was sort of having a little pootle about, just sort of looking at stuff and seeing some of these, sort of support race things going on. And then, I thought, you know what, I'm going to see if I can get to the middle, because I don't know if this thing allows me to get into the middle. So I think the way I went in, there was a little bridge. So I kind of walked over and sort of had to cross this bridge. Some people, checking to see if you're allowed. And they sort of looked at my pass and went, yeah, all right. So I went in. I was a bit, I'm in the middle bit. This is all very exciting. Oh, very good. So I had to wander around the middle bit. And you could sort of get to the back of the pits and such like, which was all very exciting indeed. Anyway, and then I was aware that the race was going to start at some point relatively soon. And so I was just walking along. And bear in mind, I wasn't dressed fancy. I had jeans and a t-shirt on. And I think I was wearing a baseball hat for some of it. Now, I don't look good in hats. I look like a Wally in every single hat that I ever wear. But it was just to keep the sun off. Because I was a little bit red in the face because I was slightly burned from the Saturday, and then the Sunday was I think it clouded over a bit later, but it was quite hot in the morning. So I was a little bit red of face, and I had just a bag with me. So I didn't look like anything special at all. Just, person with bag, jeans, t-shirt, and Formula One based hat, just wandering around. Anyway, and then I was sort of walking along thinking, what I'll do is I'll go right down to the end there, to this particular bit of the track, which I forget now. I forget where it was. Club, possibly, I can't remember where it was now. A particular bit of the track, I thought, that's quite good. I'll go down there. I'll go down to that bit and get a good vantage point. And then a little kind of golf buggy thing sort of pulled up next to me. It sort of appeared on the left, and the driver sort of went, right. So I turned around and went, oh, hello. Are you going down that way? So, oh, yeah, I am, yeah. So I went, hop on. So I got onto this little thing. And there was a lady on the back, and she was dressed very, very well. She was like dressed proper, like for a fancy kind of do, like for a party. I thought, okay. I looked at her and I thought, I recognise you from something. I recognise you. And I couldn't quite work it out for a little while. So I got on the back, and this lady sort of went, hello. So I gave her a bit, hello. Very pleasant. And we pootled on down there. It was all very, very nice. And we sort of, bumped around over the things, over the grass, because we're on the grass. So over the grass, onto a little path and stuff. And then we got toward like a great big kind of fancy sort of bit. It had like a sort of a structure that was very fancy looking. Glass sides, and had a kind of balcony viewing bit. And you could see at the top there were like lots of plants and things in there. And it looked very fancy. It looked very extravagant. And anyway, this little sort of truck thing, drove straight through past these people, the two sort of people. And they sort of gave us a cursory glance. Went, yeah, all right, come in. So we went in, and I ended up I was in like a VIP bit at Silverstone. And I should not have been in a VIP bit at Silverstone. I don't think my pass allowed me to get into the VIP bit at Silverstone. But there I was, in a VIP bit at Silverstone. And it was very bizarre. So I got out. And then eventually, so later on, this lady, she went and sort of walked off and sort of said cheerio, and she said bye. And then I realised later, she was Jolie Richardson, I think she's called, who's an actress. I think she was in The Tudors, and she's probably been in lots and lots of other things. But yeah, so she was there, which was a bit of a surprise. So I shared a little ride with her. But yeah, if you don't know who she is, you might have seen something with her in. So she's not she's not Hollywood A-lister famous, but she was a celebrity. And then I just went into this VIP bit, and there was just a big long bar, and you could have drinks. And I sat at this table. I had a perfect view. Like, it was a lovely table. I sat on my own at this table. I put my bag on a chair. And I sat, and then someone came over and said, oh, hello. So, would you like a drink? And I kid you not, I was really thirsty. So I did get a cup of tea. I don't know what tea it was. It was an adequate cup of tea, I believe. But I had a cup of tea, and they brought that out to me. And then I went to get some nibbles on this giant sort of table, and they were like really fancy nibbles. And then, I had my tea, and then they brought around drinks. So I had some champagne, and then there was some beer that I had, and I had some more beer from this other sort of great big kind of freezer thing. It was a bit, I'm in the VIP, and I shouldn't be here, but I'm just going to completely wing it. I'm just going to wing it, and if anybody tells me off, I'll just go, well, I got in. It's fine. Check. I came in with the actress lady over there. There you go. Check me out. And then, I sat there and watched the entire race. And it was a really good vantage point. They had loads of screens in the place so you could watch like the action on the telly that you couldn't see at other parts on the track. On the track, because you couldn't see the whole track because, of course, we're in one place. And then they had things like games to play in there. So they had a simulator. You could sit in a massive simulator and sort of, it sort of flung you about left and right as you were driving around and stuff. And they had other games. They had like a sort of like a mini bowling thing, and they had some darts and that kind of stuff. And it was amazing. It was amazing. I just sat and ate, wined and dined like a VIP cheat. But yeah, that was very odd as well. That was very odd. And then at the end, it kind of. Excuse me. At the end, it's sort of... hang on, I'm going to have some tea. Oh, very nice. At the end, it just sort of finished. And everyone kind of very slowly petered away. So I did make an exit with some of the people, just in case anybody did cotton on to the fact that I wasn't supposed to be there. So there were lots of, there were lots of, it was quite fancy. Lots of people in suits and stuff like that. So, I made my way out in kind of behind a big group of people, hoping that nobody would question the fact that I was there. And, no. And then there was just a load of the little golf buggy things that we hopped into, and it took us back up to the sort of the main sort of area back at the start. And then I walked out, got some food actually. I waited for the crowd to go. And then, got something to eat, some mooched around a bit, looked at some merchandise stuff, and then went and got the bus home because I don't live that far away, so they have bus services. So that was it. It was very bizarre. It was very odd, and it was wholly unexpected, and it was amazing. It was wonderful. It was very, very good. So there we go. There are three kind of weird, odd things to have happened. There might be more. There might well be more, but I can't remember. Oh no, hang on, I've just had a memory of something. This was very good. This kind of happened to me. When I was at university, we had a very tall building. Why didn't I think of this? This still confuses me to this day. There was a really tall building, and we were quite high up for one of our classes. Can't remember what the class was. It was computing based. Anyway, so we did that, and we were in this room, and we got there relatively early, and there was a chap there who liked to do magic tricks, which was fine. And these windows, they opened from, they were sort of rectangular, split sort of horizontally across the centre, and then the top went down and kind of went down across the outside of the window. So you couldn't really do anything. It only opened a little bit as well. So you couldn't really do anything. You could not get like outside the window or anything. You couldn't do anything with it. And then so he said, I've got this magic trick. So we stood in front of this window, and he was like, there you go, right, okay. So what I'm going to do is, and the windows, they were clean, and you could see through the windows. It was fine. So there was nothing on the window, and he had a deck of cards. And it wasn't me who chose the card, but he went to somebody and said, okay, here you go, I've been working on this. Right, so here you go, shuffle the deck, la-da-da. They picked a card, he shuffled it back in. He then went, oh, okay, did some, as magicians sort of do, I'm just going to work out what your card was, and all that kind of stuff. And then he got the deck of cards and he threw it at the window. Bear in mind that we're on like the 10th floor or something. And then the cards are obviously boshed off the inside of the window. And then on the window was the card that was picked by this person, whoever it was in our class. And the card was on the outside of the window. It was on the outside of the window. We all went and looked. I still don't know how he did it. And then it, after about, a minute after all going, oh my goodness, it then detached on the window and fluttered away. But we're all a bit, oh, what? And it was a bit, okay, I get that if you said the card is over there on the table, you'd go, ooh, on the table. And you go, oh yeah, very good trick. The fact that it was outside on the back of a window on the 10th floor of a building, it might not have been that high. It was high up, whatever the case. You couldn't do it from the outside. It was very high up. And it was on the outside of the window, and you couldn't sort of lean out the windows to do it because they didn't open that much, presumably for safety reasons because we were quite high up. So they didn't open that much, and it was kind of on the bottom half of the rectangular window. And even if you could open the top half of the window enough, it would open on the outside, sort of on the outside of the below window, so you couldn't stick anything on it anyway because the sort of upper half of the I can't. It'd be like that. So it'd go like that, and that's where the card was, on this side. So yeah, you wouldn't be able to do it anyway. So to this day, I have no idea how he did that. I've no idea. And occasionally, when I sort of see magician things, I do think, oh yeah, that was probably the most sort of magician-y thing I've ever seen with my own eyes. Obviously, there's things on the telly and stuff. But yeah, there we go. There are four weird, odd things. Hopefully that answered the question. I mean, there might well be more. There might well be more that have just not popped into my head right now. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's loads of sort of coincidences and things like that. Some odd things have happened like that. But yeah, I think certainly those three, and then, the sort of the magic trick that just sort of, did pop into my brain there. They are, I would say, the four weirdest things. Unless I've forgotten some, which I might well have done. But there we go. So that question is now done. I have been talking for an awfully long time, haven't I? My goodness. Okay, well, there we go. So question done. I'm going to go and finish this tea because it is very nice. It is very, very nice indeed. The Pucker tea advent calendar is most certainly not disappointing. It's very good. I mean, okay, we've had some, relatively unspectacular ones. Like the 3-fennel tea was sort of okay, and the minty one, I can't remember what it's called, mint refresh, was it? Yeah, again, minty tea is not my thing. It was okay, but a lot of the others have been really, really good. So, yes, I'm very impressed. So I'm going to go and finish this. I shall enjoy this, and we shall wrap things up for the moment. So for now, thank you very much for joining me for day 8 of the Fes-tea-ve Advent Countdown 2021, and I will see you next time.
Everyone loves barbecued rat. My compliments to the chef. I don't think he did much. He literally stuck a stick up the rat's bottom and put it on a fire. Shrieking weird ladies in the water, probably not a good thing. The heroes offer a decisive solution to all the woman's riddles by shoving her off the bridge. Yay! Yay for the chiseled stick.